Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Gamer.lk's League of Legends League, also known as GCLL Season 4. So I'll be one of your casters for today. My name is Azman and joining me is going to be Shera. How are you, Shera?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great as well. So looking forward to some amazing League of Legends games today.
Definitely.
So this is currently the longest ongoing online tournament in Sri Lanka right now in terms of League of Legends.
Yes.
So I believe Season 1 was taken by Let Us Surrender.
Please Let Us Surrender, yes.
And I believe you know the Season 2 winners as well as the Season 3 winners.
Yeah, that's right. Season 2 goes towards Meme Masters, and Season 3 Lanka Lions. Actually, they're one of the top teams at the moment as well in Sri Lanka.
So let's see whether Lanka Lions can actually secure another top spot here in Season 4.
Only time will tell. Do stick around.
Yeah, definitely. So with that, today we'll be having a game between LGN Pax as well as Linda Langa Generators.
Oh, that name is a jiffy right there.
Yes, the name is a bit different. It's a mouthful. So we're going to call it LLG from now on.
That's
so
right.
Linda Langa Generators is going to be known as LLG from now on.
Yes.
So, but with that, before we get into this, none of these would be possible without our sponsors. So we have FreeMe, our digital banking partners, who can, basically who have really invented this like online digital banking kind of perception of everything, where you can just buy everything through off your phone and you actually get cashback offers, and it's just as easy as just entering a few details on your phone, and it's basically like so most of the time anyway, all of us have our phones on us.
Definitely.
So there are definitely days where we'll forget our wallets or our bags, but we'll never forget our phones.
Yes.
We'll always have our phones with us. So even then, in case of an emergency, you always have, if you have the FreeMe app, you have the money, you have the debit card, so it's very easy, very convenient for you to use. And with that, obviously, I don't think there is any Sri Lankan alive that actually hasn't gone to Pereira & Sons.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think everyone has gone into Pereira & Sons. They have some amazing short hits there. It's a really good way to kind of, pick up your morning, grab a few short hits, grab get a nice iced coffee. So they are going to be our food sponsors. And with that, we have finally our laptop sponsors, MSI. So I think you know a lot about, a decent amount about MSI, so I think you know how recognized it is.
They're definitely one of the dominating
laptop brands here, just like globally as well.
Yes.
So one of the it actually has really good gaming peripherals as well, and just having really good specs on most of their PCs, which gives it's really great for gamers like us.
Yes.
So with that, I think just before we get into the game, just a few things that we would like to talk about in terms of League of Legends right now. Where do you see the meta right now?
The meta right now is actually It's in an okay position, but ADCs are definitely taking a hit because we see a lot of majors trying to go bot lane right now. So what's happening is that the ADCs are a little underpowered, while majors and like champions like Yasuo, champions like Heimerdinger is taking over the meta in the bot lane. So it's kind of making things a bit complicated for the ADCs. But in terms of the mid lane, in terms of the top lane, all that goes, everything is just fine.
Yeah, definitely. And we actually saw a few very unusual picks going mid, and right now they're actually quite strong in the sense that one which really surprised me, I think when we were just going through it, was Malphite actually.
Malphite mid lane.
Yeah, it was actually very interesting. I'm not exactly sure what the changes were or why he's so viable because usually Malphite is like this tanky presence in the team that kind of sets up the team.
I mean,
fights.
if we also think about it, like Malphite can just one-shot somebody. So someone like a carry, if he just ults and instantly he's just dead.
Yeah, definitely. I think just being able to reduce the numbers on any game. I think whether it's a FPS game or whether it's League, Dota, whatever game you're playing, if you can take off one member for sure,
especially the carry.
Yeah, definitely, especially the carry because he's the person who's supposed to secure the game for you.
Yes.
So with that, just going into the game. So right now, just in terms of Sri Lankan League of Legends, I think you have a past history of just kind of playing League as well. So what do you think were your favorite picks at the time, and what do you think about the Sri Lankan League scene in general?
Well, my favorite picks, when I first started, I really liked Lucian, but now I'm kind of like a one-trick Jhin main right now. So I also played League. I got to Diamond Flex Q, by the way. I got to Diamond while playing Jhin as well, so he's one of my personal favorite champions at the moment. And your next question was?
So what do you think about the Sri Lankan competitive league scene right now?
The competitive league scene, I mean, it's good. We could improve a lot more. could
Yeah, definitely.
improve.
So obviously, I think one major factor would be the ping.
Yeah.
I think if ping, I think it definitely if there was any possible way to get like below 50 ping or even
Oh,
less
yeah,
than
that would be
100 or
heaven
less than
right
100 even, because
Yeah.
I think everyone is currently playing at around 145 to 150.
The thing
ping.
is, like, Garena server is actually really good server to get into and try and play League, but it's also the fact that, there's not a good player base over there as opposed
Yeah,
to
definitely.
US.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of people incline towards the US. They've got good quality players where they can, enjoy the game. The ping is a little high, but, hey, it's worth it, I think.
Yeah. So right now in your head, top 5 picks for top lane, mid lane, jungle, and bot lane.
Top 5 for each role?
Yeah, for each row.
Well-
Like your top 5.
Oh, my top 5. So we're talking about Garen right now, right?
Yeah.
Top lane. So I think he's a very viable pick right now. So, and I feel like Kale is a good pick. Heimerdinger is a very good pick. In terms of ADCs go, I feel like, let me see this. Jinx is very good. Jhin is very good. Yasuo is also a good pick right there. Jungle, I think Dr. Mundo is very good, and also Volibear is also pretty viable. And in terms of mid lane, I would say, I would say the Malphite.
That's actually quite interesting to see.
Yeah.
Mine would be just be Ribbon for everything. Just
All
because,
Ribbon right there.
because people who don't know, I'm just like a complete Ribbon one trick. That's the
Yeah.
only hero. Like literally, I started League. I played a little bit, and then you get. I think there's something that gives you like a decent amount of Stardust.
Yeah.
And then I just got Ribbon, and that's the only.
That
hero
was the
I
first
played.
championship you bought?
Yeah, that's.
And
the
why
first-
was that?
Because I used to watch a lot of Box.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm a huge Box
I used to
fan.
watch him too,
Yeah, so I'm a huge Box fan, and then later on I found Adrian Ribbon.
He's actually an
so-
amazing ruin. Yeah, I've actually seen he's actually should be one of the greatest. Should
Yeah,
be the
I
best.
think
Because in terms of like I've seen streams, right? I watched stream Box versus Adrian, but Adrian just pulls off these amazing mechanics like throughout the
Yeah, definitely. His understanding of the game is great, but then Box has been playing for a long time, and he has some sick moves as well. The thing about Box is, I think he just kind of takes this showmanship kind of route to his playstyle. Because most of the time when he's playing, he's playing to a crowd of streamers.
Yeah. So he's trying to impress
He's trying
and
to
entertain.
impress
yeah.
and entertain, and then he has this.
But Adrian's not.
Yeah,
that's
Adrian's is just
pure.
just pure.
He focuses
gameplay.
on his
Yeah.
skill. Yeah.
So there are a few really good Riven players for sure. But then anyway, what kind of champions do you think are great? Like, what kind of streamers do you really like to watch? Like, in terms of who inspired you to pick up these heroes?
Wow, I think one of my all-time favorites is Tyler 1.
Tyler 1. Oh
Yes,
yeah.
the dude who rages really hard.
No, but he actually plays insanely well.
Yes, well, and he was in Challenger, he's in Diamond right now, but he was in Challenger, and I mean, the dude's reformed right now, so you can't really complain about him, but yeah, I was really a fan of him, the way, because I mean, what people find most entertaining about him is the way how he rages. Because there is just such a funny element to it, the way how he rages, so people really find that entertaining and hilarious, and they just like laugh at when he's raging.
Yeah, especially like when he makes like random stuff, like he just breaks rotten eggs and stuff, and he just starts mixing them.
And I mean he's been a very toxic person. He's gotten banned indefinitely from Riot Games, and then now he's all reformed. They forgave him, and he's back in the scene now.
Yeah, that's
Pretty
great to
good
see.
on
I think it will be interesting to see more Tyler 1 in a more controlled but still crazy action. But with that, so there's actually a very interesting concept that's going on in terms of the leagues this year. So everything has been broken into two. So we have this the Challenger League, and then we have the Pro League.
Yeah.
So Challenger League in the sense that for league players, it doesn't mean that only challengers can play. It's just the name of the league. So Challenger League is the
that's what I first thought too. I was like asking, what challengers? What are we doing right here?
Yeah, exactly. So basically, what Gamer.lk has done is they've broken it up into two kind of groups. So then there's been certain issues in terms of how when newer teams want to get into the scene, they always end up playing
Definitely,
Lanka Lions or
Yeah,
Meme Masters or some really good team.
Yeah.
Which is as newer players, you don't
Yeah.
want to discourage them from playing.
You definitely want to experience the whole spectrum of the gaming industry and not just going to one game and face off against Lanka Lions and just.
Yeah, and it's demotivating, so you don't really
Yes.
want to do it again because you don't want to. You feel like it's a waste of time, because you can't reach that level. But if you play against players in your own skill, and then you
Yeah.
have like a really decent game, and then you get motivated to keep doing better.
Definitely.
And then that kind of grows the scene. I mean, when a scene grows, it's great for esports. It's great for the league community itself. I mean, you have more people coming and adding themselves into the groups, and then just chatting around, trying to talk to other people, get more advice, get some coaching advice as well, because nowadays coaching also has become a very interesting kind of profession for people who are doing esports. So
I think in terms of coaching goes, I mean, it's I think that, I mean, there was a time, like when even Lanka Alliance, they were being coached by this English guys. So it was a good time. I think coaching can really help, because what I feel like is the players have to stick to playing the game, and the coach has to be the person who is basically overlooking everything, right? And one of the problem with having if you want to get really good, right, and if you're a team of 5 players and you're trying to coach as well, it's kind of very difficult to do that, honestly.
Yeah.
And so it's really good for you to have a coach and just try and like overlook everything and just help you out over there, as opposed to being 5 players.
Yeah, okay. So with that, we're just going to be heading into a very short commercial break, and once we get back, we'll be getting into the drafting action.
Yes, that's right.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So we do have the 2 teams ready, and we'll be getting into the short draft very shortly. So before that, we were just talking about the 2 leagues. So the Challenge League, once again, is just a way. Okay, so we actually have the draft right there. So immediately, your Malphite made.
Oh, the Malphite is actually banned. Wow, that's surprising right there.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I'm really bad with the League of Legends, the Legends
character names.
Character names.
So on the other side, we see Ilawi getting banned on the red team.
Oh, that's Ilawi? That's what Ilawi looks like?
Yes.
Okay, because it does not look like anything.
We were talking about, you were asking me who was that, and
so looks like they banned out Volibear. So are they listening to the stream? Because they seem to be banning out every single...
I think so. We were talking about all this, Volibear is like a good pick, Mondo is like a good pick right now, and all of a sudden these Veigar is getting... I think it's a target ban right there.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, knowing these 2 teams, they probably
have done
their research. To know which players are good with what heroes. And Veigar is one of those heroes. Even as a support, he just kind of scales with AP through his passive, and he can still dish out a decent amount of damage if he is a good support player who knows what he's doing.
And the annoying part about the Veigar is the stun cage.
Yes, definitely.
Once you get caught up in it, it's like
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to specifically buy an item just to escape one specific skill.
Yeah.
When especially like something like a Quicksilver Sash, which takes about 180 seconds, kind of cool down as well. So it's every 3 minutes you get to use it once, you escape once. So it's not really, a great investment.
That's right. So on the blue side, we see Malphite, Volibear, and Mastery. Mastery is also a very good pick right now in the meta, so he's been banned. And on the red side, we see Ilawi, Veigar, and Syndra being banned. And on the blue side, the first pick, we see a Kai'Sa. What do you think about the Kai'Sa?
So Kai'Sa is interesting, but like you said, with all these new bot lane, heroes like Legends, just heading in there, I think if she gets caught out, she's going to be having a very difficult time. So and Kai'Sa doesn't have the greatest of pokes unless like one of the targets are isolated. If the targets are isolated, I think Kai'Sa is great. But other than that, if he doesn't watch his positioning really well, I feel like he can easily burst her down and kind of just push her back and kind of just kind of delay her farm quite easily.
That's right. And also on the red side, we see first and second pick picking Vayne and then Morgana. And we're just waiting on the second pick from the blue side. We'll see what it is going to be shortly.
Yeah, so right now already, Kai'Sa's lane is looking a bit rough. with the Vayne and Morgana. I mean, the Morgana Q is always something that you don't want to get hit by. Because, once you get rooted, you're going to be taking damage over and over again, and it's just something you don't want to deal with.
Well, we said the Jarvan coming in actually, and the Jarvan Cataclysm, his ultimate can be very useful, for locking down that Vayne, especially, she's going to be tumbling around, she's going to be invisible, she's going to be very annoying to catch, right? And we see a Nautilus. That's some heavy CC right now. We see a Jarvan ultimate, we'll see, for example, on top of Vayne, and then a Nautilus ultimate. That's kind of deadly right there.
Yeah, right there, definitely. I think, they have some really good synergy, and they're like just kind of securing a little bit of team fight right now, because like you said, Jarvan is really great for that, kind of lockdown. So then Kai'Sa also can just kind of work around the pit and start laying in damage from the outside, and then Nautilus obviously just being able to displace someone from the team. So always just being able to pull them in, or just put them in a rough spot, or set up for someone else is always going to be great.
Now, talking about LLG's team composition, they're not really considering or respecting the fact that they've got a Jarvan on the other team, they've got Nautilus on the other team. Now, if you think about it, Orianna, she has no escape as well. Morgana has no escape as well, and Vayne, well, she has the tumble, but she has no dash and anything like that. So she cannot get through like obstacles.
Yeah, it's a very interesting. I mean, they picked up the Jarvan very early as well, so I think that kind of gives you a really good idea. Gives you an idea of what they're kind of going to. Yeah. But even then, I feel like most of these teams, especially when it comes to Sri Lankan teams, they always want to play for comfort, and just playing the heroes that they've been practicing, the heroes that they are comfortable with. It's kind of the game plan. Yeah. So maybe the heroes that they have, or the pool that they have, does not really deal really well with the side of Jarvan and Nautilus. So because of that, maybe they're just kind of waiting to just try to play their game, and hopefully hope for the best kind of
that's right,
gameplay.
And so we see on the red side, the second phase of the bans, we see Kled and Yasuo coming in for the side of the red team, and on the blue side, we see second phase of it, we see Darius and an Amumu coming in.
Yeah, so Amumu, like I said, I think Amumu is just
you
one
were
of those.
Just talking about
Amumu is always just one of these Sri Lankan favorites.
Very.
He's just one of those Sri Lankan favorites, and everyone really loves picking up the Amumus. And I actually played with a few Sri Lankan players who actually love.
We see the Garrett coming in right now. Now this, I'm very excited to see how it will pan out in the top lane.
Yeah, definitely. I think depending on the nerfs and whether they've changed that ridiculous ability, the way I've told you, because if Hydra keeps proccing with the spin, I swear I'm just going to get up and leave. But anyway, right now I think the Garen is definitely something that will dominate the top lane for sure, but I think he needs to initially do well during the laning stage. So it looks like it's going to be it's going to be Shen top most probably.
Shen top lane most likely, yeah.
So Shen is also one of those tanky, very kind of durable kind of top laners as well. So depending on whether the Garen can just repeatedly get those Qs off, I think Shen needs to kind of watch his positioning, make sure that he kind of avoids Garen when he uses the Q, so he does not get silenced or take that extra damage. And if he does that, I think if they manage the lane quite evenly either way, I think Garen will scale much better. But depending on how they execute, how Jarvan rotates, I think there may be a different story to see in the end.
And we see the Ahri being picked up for the blue side. That's their final pick right now. So overall, a very safe and very team fight oriented team composition right there.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot. And then, just Rammus being picked up now. I'm not a huge fan of LLG's draft right now. I'm actually leaning more towards LGN actually. So I feel like LGN is more organized. They know what they want, and they've secured their DPS, they've secured their support, they've also secured a decent amount of team fight, as well as they have, even then they still have decent heroes to kind of go and just punch legends to kind of go and punch towers down.
Because what's happening is, if you look at LLG's team composition, because we're trying to figure out what their game plan is, what is actually going on in their team comp, and how are they going to make use of it. I think one of the things which we can mention is that they've got the Vayne, they've got the Morgana, so definitely Morgana will go to Black Shield the Vayne and try and get all of those CCs out of her, and maybe try and hope that she carries the team composition. And I feel like the Rammus and the Orianna is something like Rammus coming in really hard, and then what's happening is that the Orianna is going to give the ball over to the Rammus, and then it's going to be an ultimate, Orianna ultimate. So that's what's happening with the Rammus and the Orianna.
Yeah, definitely. They have like a more like a two kind of a cells. They have like cells, like in terms of team fights. Okay, so you have LGN with like all 5 of them. That's strong. if even one of the components are missing, they are much significantly weaker.
Yeah.
But if you take a look at the side of LLG, if they can just like fight in cells, so like I said, Morgana as well as the Vayne is going to be really good. Black Shield with the stun, just keep tumbling and dealing all the damage, or Rammus with the Orianna. There's so many combos that they can work with, and even having the Rammus kind of just spin in, and then you have the Garen to kind of silence to stop them from using anything.
I think the Garen is because OP. That's it. Enough said.
Garen is just
Garen, we really don't have to talk about the Garen right now. It's just OP. That's it.
Yeah, definitely, because you'll have so like I said, you'll have those two cells, and the Garen is just like, I'm going to win
he's just solo. Yeah,
he's like,
just doing his own thing.
Anyway. So, but anyway, either way, I think everything will come down to execution and how well you know the champion that you're playing. So, if you don't know what the skills of the champion that you have are and what they do, you're not going to be playing it to its full potential, and that itself might lead to a little bit of plans going here and there. I think everything in the end of the day doesn't matter what. I mean, the draft will win you a certain percentage of the game.
Yes.
But if you don't land your skill shots, if you don't, basically if you don't know your hero, or if you don't understand how to play the game, then like any team can win.
Yeah. Definitely.
Like for example, like for most of the time, most of the people say once Kale hits like level 16, she's like this beast, and it's very difficult to kind of deal with. Yeah, she's like literally unstoppable. But in the hands of someone who doesn't know how to play her, you can just like everyone can just jump on her, kill her off, and then he'll be like, oh, I just got taken out by 5 heroes, and then then you anyway lose the game. But in a really good player's hands, that you'll never die as Kale after level 16. So
so it depends a lot. A lot of vision wards. Where you place your visions, and how you execute it. Objectives are very important. Getting towers, getting dragons, getting barons, all that, and also rotations are very important. How you rotate is also very important. So it all plays a major role in how you win the game. So we'll see what will happen. And I mean, why don't we just give like a prediction who's gonna win?
So given Sri Lankan styles of gameplays, I think they'll be taking a decent amount of team fights quite early. So maybe like just past the 15-minute, 17-minute mark, we'll be seeing a lot of team fights. And if that's the case, I'm going to head on over to the LNG side.
LGN.
I'm getting confused now.
There's too many L's right now.
So I'm going to go with LGN, I think.
Yeah, I think my pick is also going to have to be LGN, because I feel like they're coordinated and they kind of know what they're doing. That's what I feel like. So I feel like if Orianna and Rammus can work well together and get really good ganks, and also Vayne and Morgana can do their thing, and not even have to die, but at least survive, farm really well, get into that late game, then they will have a chance. But I feel like right now, LGN is definitely going in with a game plan.
Yeah, definitely. I think LGN has kind of got it sorted out, like I said, and we'll probably see. But then once again, like you said, rotations, vision, it's going to be super important. Just getting those, like the amount of people who leave base and don't even buy a control ward, when each person can buy their own control ward, kind of just destroys you inside.
I'm guilty of that, but hey, guilty as charged.
It happens.
Right
it happens. There are certain times where just die out of you die after making a mistake, and just out of sheer frustration.
I think it's also like ADC mentality, because ADCs, they get very selfish. They just care about. They just want to farm, and they want to dominate, and they just want to stay in the back and get as many kills as possible. So guilty as charged right there.
No, I mean I can kind of relate, because opposite.
But how's top lane for you though?
So for me, since I started playing top lane so far, I think it comes down mostly to matchups. So depending on the matchups, so usually when I only play Riven. So you already know this. I only play Riven.
Okay, well, can I ask you, like, is top lane like a very over there, just in the corner, like they're right there, they're doing their own thing? Is that what top lane is all about?
Not really. So it depends on. It's a lot of kind of like the parts that you have, and the kind of the utility that you have, and who the matchup that you have. So for example, if I'm playing up against, like, say, Garen. So Garen right now is kind of strong, so I can kind of trade with him really well at level 2. So I'll be like, kind of both of us will just be doing our thing until I hit level 2. Then I know that I can trade much better than him. And if that's the case, then I'll start kind of trading and bullying out. But with that, if it's like a Nasus, I'll just run at him. I won't even let him like CS under creeps. It doesn't matter if I miss CS. But anyway, with that, we are heading into the game.
That's
so
right.
it looks like we'll be seeing the rotations coming in from the team. So usually these, what do you think about these? You know, so a lot of games actually. Okay, so everyone already kind of sees everyone.
Yeah, they
right
see
now.
where they're going.
So usually most of the games you actually do see like the teams kind of just running down the lanes and just trying to find a way to kind of invade the other person's jungle or something like that.
Yeah.
So those engagements, do you think they have a huge impact on the game or no?
I feel like, I mean, it can definitely get you rolling. So if you're able to maybe pick up 1-2 kills, it will definitely get you rolling. But I don't think that it will dictate the entire pace of the game. Definitely not. But I feel like it will definitely give you that sense of advantage, going into laning phase. But I don't think it wouldn't make a huge difference, because at the end of the day, it's all about just the skill and where you place your visions and your rotations. All that really does matter, and yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So one thing that we haven't even talked about is the buffs. So I mean, you touched on it a little bit, but then you have red buff, you have blue buff, you have the mountain, the dragon buffs.
That's
so you have a multitude of dragon buffs as well. So how important of a role do you think that will play in these games?
Well, it depends on the dragon which is about to spawn. So hopefully, if it's like an infernal drake, a mountain drake, it's very, very important that the team secures it. Especially in Infernal Drake, because it gives you that attack damage and ability power stack, so it's definitely crucial for team fights. And if it's something like an Ocean Drake or a Cloud Drake, it's not as important. You can just lay it off and you can just, you don't want to risk it. If you feel like, your team is about to get in trouble, then you definitely don't want to risk trying to contest a Ocean Drake or a Cloud Drake.
Yeah. So already you can see, the Kai'Sa just getting really bullied by the way and just kind of tumbling, just getting the shots in consecutively, doing a lot of damage. You can see already just consecutive double hits, and once again Garen with the spin.
Ooh,
but Shin
that taunt is actually doing a lot of damage right now. Shen's actually level 2 by the way also, and Garen's still level 1, so he's definitely got the advantage over this lane, and Garen should definitely step back when he knows who's about to get... See, it's always good to know who will reach level 2 first, and when you do know, then it's time for you to step back, because what's going to happen is you're going to get poked, and Nautilus with a wonderful hook right there, but cannot do anything because see, that's the thing, that's actually a very good counter, the Morgana Black Shield being put onto the Vayne, and it's just like, it will negate the Nautilus ultimate and also the hook, possibly, if he can place the shield on time.
No, and in the sense that most of these, like, okay, so you know that these players are already level 2. So as a top laner, most of the time, if you know that, so like you said, it's super important to know that, if they are going to hit level 2 or not.
Yes.
And then just being able to just back off, because then you can always just try to kind of, keep the equilibrium of the creeps on your side of the tower.
Yes.
So which means you're always going to be concerned about a rotation coming in from the jungle, no matter from where you are, whether you're in the bot lane or the top lane, because a really good jungler won't show until he needs to.
Yeah.
So he won't be giving away that information. So because of that, you always have to be playing really careful. So even though you get
another beautiful hook coming in by the Nautilus, and we get a taunt by the Shen, and Ramos gets caught, and he has to flash away and just roll right through.
So at least they did manage to get Ramos's flash there. So just bullying him out a little bit. So that is going to help Javan quite a bit actually. So already putting him quite ahead, because he might probably have to recall back to base.
And Ari gets a lovely charm right there. Okay. So I mean, that was a good rotation coming in by the Shen. Also, he reacted much faster as opposed to the Garen. I mean, as soon as the Rammus and the Jarvan were fighting, Shen was just super quick to respond and just do the needful, and they got a flash off of the Rammus for that.
Yeah, so once again, you can see the Shen is like not afraid at all. He knows that he has that damage reduction. He has the taunt as well.
And surprisingly, he's not getting damaged as much, And I feel like part of it is because he has that sword to actually block off all auto attacks. So that's actually super useful against the Garen.
Yeah, definitely. And you can even tell, because Garen hasn't really gone in for damage either. He has gone for the shield, so just go prioritizing just a decent amount of Doran shield, just prioritizing his that regeneration a little bit. He wants to stay lane as much as possible. Kind of farm up, get those items, and then try to be a threat to the Shen. But if the Shen keeps pressuring like this, it might be a bit difficult, and he actually hits 5 before the Shen.
And in terms of CS, what we're seeing right now is the mid lane is kind of even, and also same goes for the bottom lane. And in terms of the top lane, it is also looking... Actually, Garen's in the lead right now in terms of CS, but he's got the wave pushing against the Shen, so he will be able to get a decent amount of minions right there.
Yeah, I think so. And Garans, you anyway tend to push the lane towards you quite a bit, so it's quite easy for you to CS in a very comfortable position.
Especially with that regen as well. He's got the passive in there, so he can just step back for a little bit, regen, and then come back, and he's like voila, right there.
Yeah, exactly. It's always really nice. But something I'm really impressed with is the. Actually, the Kai'Sa has been pressured quite a bit in the bot lane, but even then, just keeping up in the CS, 33 CS right there.
Yeah.
So, it seems to be working quite well, even with all that early game poke coming out from the Vayne.
But in terms of the what we see, like the Vayne and the Morgana are definitely dominating this bot lane right now. Like if you look at Kai'Sa and Nautilus, they are not able to get near that Vayne or that Morgana.
Yeah, because like you said, the Morgana just kind of counters the Nautilus super hard with that black shield.
And the Morgana Q, which is something which you got to be really careful for. It's like a 2-second stun. You really, how they got those memes, where you get Morgana stun for maybe like 10 years and stuff like that. Yes. So you definitely don't want this happening right now.
Yeah, definitely. I think something most of the time, like in League, you always have a lot of mini stuns. You have maybe like a 1-second stun. You don't really have anything that lasts for a really long time. But Morgana's one, it feels like it lasts for years.
I think it's 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, so that's like a really long time.
A really long time right there.
And in League, that's the kind of mistake where if you get hit by the Q, you're just dead.
Yes.
But even the mid lane has been quite silent. We actually saw a really nice charm coming in from the Ahri, but no real results. And so far, we are kind of almost 7 minutes into the game, and still at 0 kills.
Yeah, actually, and the red team is 200 gold up, apart from the blue team. So yeah, nothing fancy happening right now. Everyone's taking their time, and hopefully we'll get some action. Some great action coming in here.
So I like this play coming out from the Garen. He's understanding that Shen wants to go back to pick up an item. So he's just going to use all his abilities, pushing that wave into the tower, make him miss as much CS as possible, because that is quite a large wave, and I don't think there was a real reason for Shen to go back, because he was working on
Actually, the question is that Shen actually has teleport, so I really question as to why Shen didn't teleport, because he did miss a lot of CS right there. There was a lot of CS under that tower. So I'm very confused as to why Shen did not teleport right there.
Yeah, that's actually, I think it's worth to teleport for waves, that
definitely,
are
because Shen is someone who has an ultimate as well, so he can just ulti onto somebody if he really needs to latch onto something, because teleport is mainly used for ganks, right?
Yeah.
Like when you need to go back to bot lane or when something's happening, that's when you kind of need to use your teleport for. But Shen already has that with his ultimate.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's kind of a question right there.
Yeah, it's a real waste. I think I would 100%, even if I was playing Riven and I needed the TP to kind of just go and support another lane, I think at this point in time, just using the TP to kind of get 2 waves that are crashing into your tower is a huge deal. That's a lot of CS, that's a lot of gold. He just went back to pick up a few items as well. So, just using the teleport and just putting it on cooldown as soon as possible for something that's worth it is always going to be good.
That is correct. Shen already, securing his lane. He's placed vision ward and he has a bush on that front red side, so he's secured right now and he's just farming, and we see Ahri with an ultimate just coming in, and she just charmed the Orianna. Let's see what will happen.
Force the flash.
Yes,
really good play coming in. Once the Shen is actually going in, but it looks like Garen is going to just be able to run out. So once again, bot lane kind of quiet. Shen seems to have picked up a few items. He's trying to get aggressive on the Garen right now. He knows that he's a little bit, he feels a little bit stronger than the Garen right now, so he's kind of bullying out of lane. Orianna was forced to flash, but looks like
we do see Rammus, in the mid lane, but it's not successful. I think he did get charmed by the Ahri, and so the roll just rolled away.
Yeah, I mean, every time you get charmed, it's always that, feeling of just getting, kind of just sinking. That sinking feeling, because you are going to take so much burst damage that comes out from Ahri once, picked it up. Throwing out the hook there.
That was a really good tumble right there from the Vayne. And, actually, one of the things which, if you just think about it, these guys could do like LLG could do a combo like, Rammus, Black Shield, and then Orianna ultimate.
Oh, meanwhile, Shen in the top lane. Looking to go into the Garen there, but Garen just, he's kind of beefy.
I mean, the thing is, we do see that the Garen is like the Shen is kind of dominating the Garen, but what's happening is that Garen has a lot of CS, 72 CS. So I think what's happening right now is Shen is really focusing on trying to pressure the Garen, put a lot of pressure on Garen while he's not focusing on his CS. And what Garen doing is absolutely focusing on that CS lead. So he's definitely got the edge over there.
I think Garen is doing the right thing because he knows that he kind of outscales Shen in the end because of his insane abilities. And Garen is just that's the reason that he's kind of got here as well. I mean, just does so much damage. He's tanky, and his ultimate can literally take you from 100 to 0 so fast because he does so much damage. And
I think it's definitely something which LGN has to respect and just know that this Garen, it will be a threat late game.
Yeah, so for the first time I think I've seen the bot lane on the blue side actually push further than that the river, so actually getting towards the tower. So that's actually quite interesting. So it seems like everything is coming together. Top lane, of course, Shen seems to be getting aggressive, not really working out. Garen is still farming really well, 82 CS. Bot lane, I mean, even though we saw the Vayne as well as the Morgana dominating right now, Kai'Sa is sitting comfortably at 85 CS.
They're quite even right now.
Yeah. Oh, the charm actually
hit a lovely charm,
So with that, and then Nautilus is trying his best to kind of just get wards down, D-ward.
And we see Ahri going over the river. Okay, they are trying to do the dragon right now, and Nautilus gets a beautiful hook, and Ahri is just ulting, and Kai'Sa ults too, and that's Rammus which is gonna go down right now. Oh, we see the Morgana getting caught. She just popped in her stopwatch, and she gets caught in as well, and we see the Shen trying to ult the Ahri, but Ahri dies. Oh, things are getting crazy right now. It's just Kai'Sa and the Nautilus versus the Vayne. Vayne's full health and Orianna is just low health, and Vayne's just coming in and trying to get this Kai'Sa right now, but I do not think that she will be able to reach this Kai'Sa.
Is he gonna die for this?
He's actually committing to it, and he gets the kill too. And that is 3-0 Vayne right there with a 200 gold bounty. That's huge right there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that is huge. Picking up those kills were huge for someone like Vayne because he's leading the CS right now. And with that, looks like Shen might be in a little bit of trouble here. We see the Garen trying to move in, but looks like the Shen is going to be able to back off. But that fight went really, really well for LLG. They're just having,
that's right.
Just going on to the Rammus there, but not being able to burst him down fast enough. Even after using the flash, the Rammus still managed to get out of Javin. I keep calling him Jarvis.
Jarvis.
So he managed to get out of Javin's ult there, and that kind of.
There comes the charm right there. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, so obviously the Ahri had vision on the Orianna, and the Orianna didn't know, but good pickup by Ahri right there, and the red side actually secures Mountain Drake, so it's actually good on them right there.
Yeah, I think we know Mountain Drake is always going to help quite a bit, and with that we actually see the Vayne picking up a decent amount of items actually, and he's actually quite far ahead, already having a
very
so 300 gold bounty on his head.
And it's not the person who you really want to give kills over to. A Vayne is deadly.
Yeah,
especially
definitely.
late game.
Especially from the way that he's playing.
Yeah.
He's not someone you really want with items, especially if you know. He seems to know the limits of his ADC, his champion.
Yeah.
Because I mean, most people would have just been like, okay, I'm just going to let the Kai'Sa go. I'm going to back off. But he understood that okay, with my tumble and the slow from my right click.
So what happens here is I feel like what LGN did was commit so heavily onto the Rammus right now. They used everything. They used the Kai'Sa ultimate, they used the Ahri ultimate, they used the Nautilus ultimate. There's too many ultimates being used on a single person, and what happens is that LLG just comes in and they just clean everything up because they got their ultimates ready and they just used it on their entire team, while LGN, they just used it on one specific target. Their reaction timing was good. Ahri came in towards the Dragon Pit and she reacted more faster than the Orianna, but they used everything on that Rammus right there. And Rammus can pop in that shield, he's tanky as well, so it really didn't work out for them. That was not the best of their targets, what they...
Yeah, definitely. And it didn't help that they couldn't lock him down because the plant was inside the Javin ult, which was really unfortunate because the Rammus could have just popped it and got out, and then that kind of bought him a little more time, which gave the side of LLG to kind of a decent amount of time to kind of position around, and then we saw the I think it was the Morgana using the stopwatch. Was it
Yes.
the stopwatch? Or, yeah,
Yes,
I think it was a stopwatch.
Yeah.
So using the stopwatch there very early into the game, actually, just kind of buying more time. And then we saw the 3 players from LGN Pax just kind of grouping up, and the Vayne was just going to town on all 3 of them. Just,
I mean, the Vayne was just getting free damage over there. Like, no one's focusing on her, and none of them had any ultimates, so she was just like in the back, and let me just keep autoing right there.
So top lane has been one of those, you do you lanes, most people think it's like this, but
that's why I ask you, like, if you're playing top lane, how is it? It's just like a solo lane where you don't care and you just do your own thing.
no, that's the thing, right? So in top lane, if you make even one mistake and you give your opponent a lead on you, that is going to be the end for the lane, because there's no one who's going to help you. So it kind of makes it difficult for the jungler also to rotate very early into the game, so then he has that ability to kind of just bully you out. And no one really wants to spend a lot of gold on regen. So they always want to keep progressing in those little items, so you can bring in the big items together as soon as you possibly can, and get those kills to kind of this thing. So it's usually better to leave each other alone, so then you all can get your levels and just still contribute the same amount to your team. But if your bot lane is not doing great and your mid lane is not doing great, then you need to kind of do something.
One of the things what we see right now is that Rammus actually picked up the Rift Herald. So 2 objectives going to the side of LLG right now, so they are in a very good spot right now. And I think in terms of the mid lane, what's going on is Ari is actually dominating the Orianna, getting all those plates down, and now the plates have gone down. But she's very close to getting that tower, and she also has a 150 gold bounty on her also.
Yeah,
So
150 gold bounty. I mean, the Ari is actually playing quite well. It's just that I feel like they're kind of overcommitting all their skills.
And there you go, the first tower gone down for the Ari. So good job for the side of LGN right there. And in terms of the gold lead, we see it's actually even right now.
Yeah, it's actually very even. So I think LGN Pax is kind of leading, but then they did get that first turret.
Tower,
But then, given the kind of objectives that LLG have actually taken and fights that they've won, I'm actually surprised that they're behind. Especially after the few kills that they got, the 4 kills that they got in that initial.
I mean, I think it should also be the target goal which is added. It's gone down, and fight is about to start right now. Oh, things are going crazy, and we see the Vayne just trying to. Okay, the Vayne just died, and the Rammus just comes in, and Garen tries to teleport right here, but it got cancelled. I think the Shen taunted him, and alright, okay.
Okay, so Ari was able to bring down Rammus as well.
There was a lot which just happened right there within a short span of time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we saw Vayne just kind of disappear. I saw the Jarvan ult landing, and I believe the follow-up was coming in from Ari with the ult as well as the charm with the.
That's what you want. Like the Jarvan ulti just coming in and locking the Vayne in place, and then you just see they need to have that good sort of target as opposed to they going on the Rammus or anything like that. And we see them actually LGN trying to get the Infernal Drake, and they do get that, which is quite important. It's super important. So that's actually a good team fight for the side of LGN.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Garen is
actually the Garen tried to teleport and it failed because the Shen
taunted him. Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
I really questioned that because I was looking at the minimap, right? I saw the Garen was in front of the Shen trying to teleport. I was like, why would you do that? I mean, what's your motive right there? I mean, maybe he was like his team was telling him, yo, come down super fast, and must be like the heat of the moment.
Yeah, probably, and even then, maybe the Shen was kind of just chilling in the trees as well.
Yeah.
And maybe, the Garen was like, okay, he hasn't been here for a while, like in this TP.
Yeah.
Rammus, will he run into the Ari here? Trying charm, actually missed. He actually connects with the taunt as well, and the Orianna is here, but missing right there. And Ari going to have to burn the ultimate right there to kind of get out. But with that, they did manage to get another Drake. I actually missed which one it was because we were having a little bit of a discussion. But
actually, LGN did get the Infernal Drake. Yes, they got the Infernal Drake, and LLG they got the Mountain, and the third dragon which is going to come up is also another mountain. So if LLG can secure that, then they'll be able to shred those objectives really fast. So we'll see what will happen in due time. But at the moment right now, what we're seeing is that LGN, they kind of know what they need to go after. They need to go after the priority picks like Orianna and Vayne. They've gotten a good and they've actually adapted to what they need to do. And Rammus is trying to come in right now super hard, and It seems like nothing is happening. Orianna is trying to teleport back to the mid lane. And we see the Vayne getting that tower right now, the bottom tower. And she's about to go super hard right now. And the Kai'Sa is super low. And the Nautilus tries to ultimate, but the Black Shield from the Morgana saves her. So there's no CC on the Vayne whatsoever.
This Kai'Sa is cutting it quite close. Having to burn flash there also, unfortunately. But he needed to do it because if he gave the Vayne any more kills right there, I don't think it would have been a positive thing. But this Rammus has been getting his dancing shoes on. He's just been joking the skill shots left, right, and center.
He's kind of insane. Like, he just goes in, he just doesn't care, and like, I kind of question that. And we see the Ahri with the ultimate coming in right now. Rammus is just going super hard, and there you go. That charm just, you know, completely takes off that role. And
I love that play from the Ahri. I mean, just wasting like 5 champions time right there. Everyone just kind of, you know, immediately she went in with the ult, and then she wanted to get aggressive on the Orianna. She saw the tumble coming in from the Vayne, immediately got back. And I think that understanding is amazing, and just being able to use charm once again to stop the Rammus. Great, you know, presence of mind, and then even understanding that, okay, Garen's coming from here, I'm just going to leap over this wall. And you know, those kind of plays are very small in nature, but you know, they have huge implications. Because if she actually gets caught, she gets silenced by the Garen there, she can't use the last proc from them, the last jump from the ult. And then from there, the Vayne as well as the Rammus catch up to you, get taunted, you're just 100% you're going to die. So just making those small plays is super important coming in.
Very. And so what's happening is that Garen is going back right now. In terms of CS, what we see is that it's quite even in terms for the ADCs, and also the mid lane. It's not much of a difference. In terms of top lane, we see like a 25-26 CS difference right there from the Garen is still 0-0-0.
Yeah,
I'm still waiting, you know, I'm still waiting to see what will happen. It's like what we talked about, right? Yeah, Trinity Force.
That's interesting actually. That must be so he should be doing some insane amounts of damage right now, because nobody picks up an Infinity Force and just kind of just chills, you know. So I think he's done. He's probably done hitting creeps, but we'll see. We'll have to wait for the next team fight to come.
I was like expecting the Garen to build a Ravenous Hydra, but it doesn't seem so, and he's actually picked up a Giant's Belt, so he's gonna go for maybe like a Randuin's next, maybe. So we will see what this Garen can do. Currently, he's just on his side lane. He's just doing his thing, and yep, that's what he's all about. And we see the bottom lane from the side of LLG moving to the top side. They're planning on getting that top tower right now, and we see the Kai'Sa moving towards the top side. So basically, what's happening right now is yes. So that's what's happening, and the Garen and the Shen are moving towards the bot side, and it is what's happening right now.
2 champions who can't do anything to each other, just kind of chilling and hitting creeps for most of the game, while the rest of the team kind of kill each other. But like we said, I mean, we kind of came into agreements with LGN's lineup that if all 5 of their heroes aren't together, they're actually going to be significantly much weaker. But they have managed to take a few really good fights with the 4 of them.
Oh, we see the Ahri just ulting right now and just going. What was that Orianna doing right there? Just trying to go through that path. It was pretty clear that Ahri was right in front of you, and why would you take that path? And we see now Nautilus, Jarvan, and the Kai'Sa coming in from the back, and Morgana and the Vayne just get smashed right there. I don't know what they were doing right there. They did have a vision ward over there. Actually, they did not have a vision ward over there.
So they got devoured. It got devoured. It was in the Baron pit, so it got devoured by the Nautilus. But
they're planning on doing the Baron right now. 23 minutes into the game, and we see the entire team coming in. We see Orianna's just super far away. Garen is trying to make his way over there. Rammus is just on the side.
Oh, will they be able to actually get this?
I think they're going to give it over, because Rammus is just going away from the Baron. So I think this is going to go down to LGN 24 minutes into the game, and it is going to the side of LGN. So well played right there, picking the Vayne and the Morgana top lane. They had no idea that they were coming, just smashed them, and they were able to pick up Baron for that. And in trade, you know, LLG, they just get the Mountain Drake instead.
Yeah, but right now in a Baron buff, it's pretty nice, and we actually have a nice timer on the top left as well for the Baron buff duration. So 5 minutes and 34 seconds left, which is a nice addition actually. So for those of you guys who are watching at home. So, but with that, the big question is, how much time do they take before they start barreling down a lane? Do you want to split push here? Do you want to stay together? I feel like LGN can stay together because of the fact that...
I feel like since they have a Shen, they definitely must split, and we see the Oriana just going in and missing that charm, so she definitely has to go back. That's the second time that Oriana's gone. I mean, the Ari's gone actually quite aggressive, and we see the Jarvan just using his ultimate, and Shen is trying to ult the Jarvan right now, and Kai'Sa's just coming in, and there is the Nautilus there, and everyone's just jumping in right now. The Garen is also going to be there, and the Kai'Sa just shedding the Garen right now with her passive, also just shreds down the Garen, and he dies, and that is actually a 1 for 3, and that's not worthy for the side of LG.
Yeah, definitely, especially with the Baron buff up as well. So this is not something that you wanted to see. But I really like how the Jarvan kind of isolated the Vayne, like you said, and he can't really tumble out of it. Managing to understand the. See, you can see him. He already flashed out at that point, knowing exactly how much the Vayne can kill, and then the jump in coming from the Kai'Sa to burst him down immediately. Like we said, that single target damage coming in from Kai'Sa is so high, and it doesn't matter how long you've been farming Garen. As when you have 4 heroes on top of you, especially a Shen and a Nautilus who are that tanky, there's no way you're getting to the backlines of that ADC.
Yeah, well, what's happening is that the Garen has no impact like on the team fight, so it's kind of very difficult. And we see the taunt coming in by the Rammus, and they are just chasing right now. Morgana and Shen just taunts away from the wall, so they're all safe. And just the Nautilus went down right now. Ari is coming in with her ultimate, and Rammus is trying to taunt to them, and he just backs off, knowing that it's better not to mess with the Ari right now.
That Morgana just disappeared. I really like the way this Ari is playing. I think he's super
aggressive. Yes.
Like he's super aggressive, but even then he seems to be getting himself out of these very difficult positions. He doesn't put himself in like this what do you call it?
He just doesn't go all in. He knows how to use his dashes properly. Also, he just goes like maybe 2 steps forward, 1 step back, just in case.
Yeah, definitely. And he kind of even though he goes in very aggressively, he kind of still respects the opponents. So knowing that they might want to make some sort of a move, because in a team environment, when your mid laner keeps getting bullied over and over again, you usually want to send someone to kind of help him out and make sure that he's having a decent game, because in end of the team you're all a team, and you want to work together. You don't just cut loose ends.
Yeah.
So that's something that you always see. But in this game, the Ahri has been putting a significant amount of pressure on the Oriana, but even then always being able to get out of pinch whenever needed. So with that, we have 2 minutes and 35 seconds left on Baron buff. So looks like we might see LGN Pax make one more move here. Because
we see the Shen right there. Okay, just trying to get that plan. That's all. And 27 minutes into the game, we see a huge goal difference right now, about 7,000 in total on the side of LGN, which is looking quite good for them. And we see a charm coming in by the Ahri, but he doesn't do anything. Rammus just backs off from there, and nothing's happening so far. We see the Jarvan at the bot lane. He's trying to push the waves, trying to get that second tier bot tower right now. And we see, we see a beautiful bind by the Morgana right there, picking off the Shen, and he just dies, and Ahri just leaps forward, kills the Oriana, and now they're trying to get onto the Garen, and Rammus is too late. What's happening right now? And whoa! That's just super crazy right now. Ahri doing so much damage. Jarvan just comes in for the show, just ults, and then the Rammus died. That's a complete ace right there.
Welcome to the Ahri show.
Wow.
That was the amount of damage coming out from the Ahri there. I mean, I saw the Oriana step out just to have the Garen, and immediately we just saw him disappear.
And the Ahri picked the 2 most important members, the Oriana and the Vayne.
Yeah, I think they just started that fight. I mean, it is a good call because they knew the rest of the team was converging.
I swear, this R is super aggressive, man. Like the way how he didn't care. Like he saw that opportunity, that window of opportunity, right, to get that Oriana. And I think another champion was in front. He just ultimate, used it, and then just cleaned up the Oriana right there.
Yeah, and for that they get a free tier 3 tower as well as a barracks as well. So did they actually get the?
They got the inhibitor.
They got also. So with that, that's actually a great play coming out from her, and she's going to be super confident. And now the next dragon should be up for grabs right now. So we really can't take a look at it. So hopefully we'll figure out what it is when it comes. Yeah. But till then, I think LG so far. So it looks like our predictions so far are on point.
Yes.
So it's about.
I mean, in the early game they actually pulled off some really good plays. Yeah, but right now what's happening is that they are losing every team fight. They're kind of getting caught off also. The especially the Orianna to the Ahri. So she definitely has to be careful. You know, she definitely needs to respect the Ahri because she needs to keep her distance and respect the Ahri and just understand, you know, the Ahri can just come in and just dash in and that's it. You know, the whole team fight will get.
And the thing is, the Orianna is actually so much of the CC as well.
You see the Ahri just waiting around on the bushes, and Ramos is just going in. Okay, but he's gonna step back a bit. And the black shield going onto the Ramos, and Ramos just doesn't care. And we get a beautiful Orianna ultimate, and Ramos flashes away. And what's happening right now is that Ahri, Kai'Sa in the back line. We see Garen taking down the Jarvan, and Garen dies as well. That's a triple kill going out to the Kai'Sa. And that's 4 people down.
It looks so good
for the side.
It looks so good.
Yeah.
I mean, they got the black shield. They got the taunt off with the Ramos. They got the the ultimate from the Orianna as well. They just didn't have the damage to finish it off, and that was so unfortunate. Ooh, and already now jumping in.
We see they're just going super hard right now, trying to clean off that Vayne, and they do get the Vayne, and it seems like it is. We are approaching the end because everybody is dead.
This should be the end, and we have Morgana coming in like 5 seconds, but I think the game is pretty much over at this point.
Right. 31 minutes into the game with almost 11k goal difference, and LGN takes the first game, first semis.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they won the first semi-finals.
Yeah.
So the interesting thing is LLG is still not out of the tournament. So they're playing in the next. So you could consider this to be like the winners bracket finals.
Okay.
But before we get into that discussion, we'll be going to a short commercial break, and once we come back, we'll be going into a little bit detail of why LGN won this game and why LLG didn't.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, to GCLL Season 4, where we just saw the conclusion of the first semi-finals. So LLG is still not out. They'll be having another semi-final games tomorrow. So with that, but today's semi-final game is going to be concluded, and let's just talk about the game a little bit.
Yeah.
So initially, the early game looked really promising. I think both these teams were doing quite decently, and the bot lane, the Vayne as well as the Morgana were doing a great job dominating. And I think in terms of looking at the lanes, I feel like bot lane was definitely won by the red side, and the top lane was definitely won by the blue side because the Shen was doing a really good job. But I think so we'll just say top lane was even. Because the Garen was just doing his job and just kind of hitting creeps. But mid lane, it seemed like the Ahri just obliterated.
There's a huge difference from the Ahri, and the way how she rotated, trying to get that flash of the Ramos in that first moment, she rotated there first. And the moment when the match, the first team fight which they had, which went in favor of LLG, even then Ahri rotated there first, but they still lost that team fight. But what LGN did was they adapted. They knew, okay, we should not focus on the Ramos the next time, and so that's exactly what they did. They focused on the Vayne, they focused on the Orianna, and they just conquered the entire game after that.
I think one of the other bigger mistakes that LG kind of made was that they kind of left their Vayne in a very vulnerable spot. Sure, he had the Morgana with him, but when you have like 3-4 heroes jumping you, then there's really no
they
way.
were just jump. Like the Jarvan just coming in and jumping on top of the Vayne, and the Nautilus ultimate also, and it was just too much for the Vayne.
And also playing without vision. I think playing without vision was a huge key. I mean, you were like, oh, they have a ward there, but then you realize that we didn't because Nautilus went and dewarded it. Then you shouldn't be in that part of the area, especially if you don't have information of where the rest of the team is. So that is something that's basic, not just in League, but in Dota as well. So vision is always a huge part of how you play the game, and it kind of impacts the decisions that you want to make. Sure, Vayne is not the type of ADC that wants to go and hit jungle cramps, but if that's the safest farm that you can get at that point in time, then you might as well go and take it if the jungle is not, because if you don't have the information, if you don't know where 4 champions are on the map, I don't think you show at all.
Yeah, because what I think the Vayne and the Morgana was expecting that the Nautilus, they were all about to go towards the mid side, and they didn't, unfortunately, and they just came in top side, and that's the Baron right there. That really changed the pace of the game right there.
Yeah, I feel like 2 things that kind of affected LG's performance in this game was, one, the Orianna wasn't. I mean, she could have gone toe-to-toe against the Ahri, but I felt like she hadn't played the matchup enough, is what I felt like. Like, I felt like she knew how to play the hero, but not the matchup.
And also, I just feel like the Orianna really could have respected the Ahri a bit more.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're just playing safe. You're a range hero as well. You can just, keep... kind of manipulating gravity to get more CS from far away. Just play safe, because Ahri has way more range than you, and she kept giving Ahri all this free poke on her with the charms as well as the orbs, and that's not something you want to give an Ahri, because that's when she's the most deadliest, because the moment she gets level 6, she probably has a lot of mobility, and throughout the whole game we actually saw that, and once she picked up Luden's Echo, she was just doing insane amount of damage, and that is not what you want. That's not what you want to see as mid laner. Either you have the same amount of farm, or something where you can at least contest. But most of the fights we saw, especially the one in the bot lane where the initial one was, even though Ahri was the first to rotate there, the Rammers kind of put them in a situation where they kind of won that fight. They won the initial one. Vayne got 3 kills, but then that kind of, I feel like getting those 3 kills kind of put him in a very too overly aggressive positioning wise. So that put him in a very aggressive spot.
Maybe too confident.
Too confident, exactly. And then that gave him LGN so many opportunities to kind of keep jumping the Vayne, because every single fight after that they managed to get on top of the Vayne. Every single fight, I think you and me both saw. The Jarvis was on him, the Ahri was on him, even the Kai'Sa was ready. Because Kai'Sa took so much bullying during that the bot lane laning stage. She was like, I'm going to kill you over and over again.
Yeah, she just jumps into the middle and just tries and destroys everybody.
Destroys everyone, and she was doing so much damage. But I think my MVP for this game is definitely the Ahri. I love the way she played today.
Definitely, I would have to agree with you on that one.
Yeah, so with that, guys, before we wrap things up, once again, we just want to give a shout out to our sponsors, without whom this would not be possible. So once again, Freeme, our digital banking partners. It's very convenient for application, so all you have to do is just download it from your phone. It's basically an online debit card which gives you cashback offers as well. And then we have Pereira & Sons, our food partner as well. So anyone in Sri Lanka knows what Pereira & Sons is, just head there. It's a really good way to pick yourself up, especially up during the day or even during the evening if you're feeling a little bit of a snack even. It's always great to just go and grab a few short hits with some iced coffee. And then finally we have our laptop partners, MSI, who are probably one of the greatest laptop available laptops globally. So
gaming peripherals, all that stuff. So
exactly. So they have a lot of amazing stuff. So that's always going to be great. But with that, guys, thank you so much for those of you who tuned in from home. This is going to be me and Shira signing out for tonight. But don't forget, we'll be having more exciting games tomorrow. So you'll be seeing more of me and Shira tomorrow as well. So thank you so much, guys. We'll catch you tomorrow. Good night.